Hello again, Mr. Mike. How are you? Or كيف حالك? So, um, this is class number three, and as you will notice today, inshallah, I'm trying to make the lessons connected to each other, because I don't want you to memorize a bunch of phrases, but I would rather stimulate the thinking aspect of the language in order for you to make sentences as you go along with your learning journey. And I believe this is essential rather than just memorizing a bunch of phrases to get by. Okay, so let's get to it. Before we talk about today's class, a quick reminder of important things that we've discussed in the previous two lessons. First of all, in order to say how are you or كيف حالك, of course we have two methods for the male and female, but here's a quick reminder about the K sound at the end. The K is an indicator that I'm talking to somebody or it means you here in كيف حالك. And you know كيف حالك for the female. To answer this question, usually you can use tamam. The word tamam means great, or alhamdulillah also means great, but in the Islamic context. Now, a follow-up question. This is something new. So when somebody asks you, كيف حالك يا Mike, you will answer him, ya tamam or alhamdulillah. And then you will ask him, because it's really common, and you, or what about you, and how are you? So to answer this question in Arabic, you say, I'm sorry, wa inta, wa inta. So I ask you, hey Mike, how are you? In Arabic, I'm sorry, كيف حالك يا Mike? You will answer me, tamam. The follow-up question to check in how am I doing is وانت. Jordanians say it together. I know there's separation between the W and the inta, but here in Jordan they said it, like fast together. So tamam وانت, not wa inta. So you connect them to each other. So tamam wa inta or tamam winta. I know sometimes I say with separation, sometimes with no separation, but I would prefer for you to learn the no separation part, وإنت. And of course, you can answer Alhamdulillah, وإنت. For the female, you change it to inti. So when a female or a lady asks you, hey, كيف حالك يا Mike? You can answer by saying تمام وإنتي. وإنتي, that means and you. Okay, so that was the follow-up question to the question كيف حالك. And there's another method, of course, because in English you can say when somebody asks you, "Hey, how are you?" You'll be like, "Yeah, I'm fine," and you. But maybe you can change the "and you" part to "I'm fine," and "How are you?" So in order to say the full phrase instead of shortening it by making it, like "and you can say in Arabic, "Tamam وأنت كيف حالك?" You add the whole thing, okay? And for the female, of course, you say وأنتِ كيف حالك. Last thing to remind you of from the previous lessons. Remember this phrase بدي أحكي معك, and the change we mentioned this maybe at the end of the class or the end of the lesson, and I didn't really like emphasize on it. But what I want you to do is just to focus on the changes here. So when I say بدي, I want, it ends with the I or E sound, بدي. And when somebody says بدك, that means you want. So بدي I want and بدك you want. And of course there's a change here. معك معي أحكي تحكي. I know sometimes, or I know at the beginning it sounds or looks tough, but I really want you just to memorize or know that بدي and بدك. بدي I want, بدك you want. And for in case you're talking to a female, because do you want, you're talking to somebody. If it's a male, you say بدك. For a female, you say بدك. بدك. Okay? So that was like the last thing that I talked about in lesson 2. But no problem, don't worry about the أحكي and تحكي and معك and معي. We will discuss that later. But I need you just like to get the idea of بدي and بدك. Now, I want to introduce today other tool for making questions other than I want, you want, or the verb want. I want to introduce the question what. So it's a common thing to use in the Arabic language. Like you want to ask somebody, hey, what is your name? What is your name in Arabic is shu ismak. Shu ismak. And for a female is shu ismik. Shu ismik. The answer to it, if somebody asks you, hey, Mike, shu, oh no, he already knows your name. Somebody who met you just now and he doesn't know your name, and he said, Ya zalame, he's talking to you. Shu ismak. To answer this question, you say ismi, ismi. Ismi means my name, Mike. Ismi Mike. And it works for both male and female. So, if the same person asks a girl, Shu ismik, she will say ismi, whatever, maybe Angela or Cleopatra. But here, ismi doesn't change for male or female. Now, the follow-up question. Remember the follow-up question before? I asked you, somebody asked you, hey, how are you? And you said, وإنت or وإنت كيف حالك? Now we have a follow-up question for this question. What is your name? شو اسمك? You answered your name. You said, اسمي Mike. The follow-up question, وإنت شو اسمك? وإنت. وإنت here means and you, شو اسمك? And you can add وإنت to the question of and how are you? وإنت كيف حالك? Is totally perfect to do that. And the female version of وإنت is وإنتي. وإنتي. شو اسمك? Now, here, your last name. Why does this matter? I know maybe in America people don't bother by asking anyone his last name. Maybe, I don't know, because I didn't see anybody ask me about my last name in America. But here in Jordan, sometimes or oftentimes people ask each other this question. There's no particular reason, it's just a tradition. So, you will hear somebody says or saying, شو اسم عيلتك? عيلتك is the last name. عيلتك or your family name. So, شو اسم عيلتك is what is your family name? شو اسم عيلتك? That's for a female. Totally unnecessary. Perhaps you will not be interested in knowing anybody's family name. Now here, this